Welcome back. So now we'll discuss how to create an object. So as we know, we need a variable to contain the value, right? So object is also a value. So object may be anything, any real world entity who has some properties. We can call it object. For example, the car is an object, the person is an object, right? And the properties, we call it the key and value pairs, right? So properties of an object is like, for example, if we consider car as an object, so the car has some properties, like car has color, car has some model, the number of tires. There may be a lot of properties which is associated to a object. In the same way, if there is the person is an object, so person has some properties, right? Person has the color of skin, they have some kind of weight, length, height, sorry, not weight. So these are the properties which is associated to a object. So what we need a variable that will contain a value, right? So let's say we have a variable that is called car, right? And we with the help of equal to, we can assign an object, right? So how we are going to create an object? We will create object with the help of this bracket. So this is the way to define an object in JavaScript. All right, and so for example, let's make color and colon. After that, we will write the value. For example, the color of this car is, for example, red. So this is the way to write an object. So this is called key and this is called value, right? So key is a color and value is a red, and the key and value are separated with the colon. We call it colon, right? And for example, this is a single value for that, so we call property. This is what exactly we call, this is a property of car. For example, there are some other properties, so we'll do one thing. We'll just put a comma here and we will enter the second property. For example, let's say model, and this is 2022. Look at the value, this is integer, so we have mentioned something like this without quotes, and red is a string. That's the reason we have written within double quotes, right? So we actually do that something like this, this way. All the keys and values are written like this: key and value, key and value. So in this case, we can add all the keys and value here which is available, all the properties. So they are called properties of the object, right? So there may be a lot of properties of an object, so we have mentioned two here. So this is the way to create object. This is the one way of creating object. There are multiple ways to create an object, but we are starting with this. All right, okay, great. So we have an object and we want to access, for example, we want to access some properties, right? We want to console that. For example, let's say console.log, and we want to check what is the color of this object, right? So we'll write car, that is the object we have, and dot the name of the property. This is called key, this is called value. So we will write the key here. For example, car dot color, color. So car dot color will give the answer red. Car dot model will give answer 2022. So I'm going to console that car dot color, and we will get red. And if we write car dot model, we will get 2022. So this is how we can access a value from an object, right? So there may be multiple car object, there may be multiple object, right? For example, let's say we have one more object, and this is car 2, and this is not green, the color is, let's say color is green, and model is 2020. So we have two different objects, one is car and one is car 2. So let's say we want to access the property of car 2, we want to check what is the color of a car 2. So we will mention here car 2 dot color. So what will be the output in this case? In this case, the output will be green, because we are trying to access the color of car 2. So we'll get the green, right? This is very basic stuff, and this is car dot color. So it will give the color of the first car, the first object, and the second line will give the color of second object or second car, right? So what would be the output of this line? It will be red and green, red and green, right? So this is the way to read the property of object. Okay, now let's see, we want to add some property in the object, right? Okay, let me clear this. So we have an object and we want to add some property in it, for example. So how we can add this property? So we will add the property. So first of all, this is called car, this is an object, and dot, and after that we will write the property name. So let's say we are going to add one property in this object, in the car object, and the property is let's say this may be any property, you can say let's say weight, right, equal to, it may be anything, for example 500, right? So this is the equal to, right? This value 500 value we are assigning to a car object, and the property in this case will be, key will be weight. Got it? I hope you understand, right? So in this way, what happened, it will insert a new value, something like this, weight 500. So this line will do this thing. This line will add a new property and value in the object, and the syntax to add this is called car dot weight equal to 500. So let's check. Let's delete this, because this is the, so initially we have assigned two properties in the object, one is color, one is model, and after that we are adding one more property, this is called weight, and the weight is 500. So let's see, after this line I'm going to console dot log, and let's say car. This is a complete object, right? we are not printing any value of that color, model, or anything else. We are just mentioning whole car, so it will give all the property of the car, right? Let me clear it out. Yes, here we go. We have color, we have model, and we have new property. This is called weight. So this line adding a new property in the object, so we can add as many as property in the object with the help of this. I hope you got it, how to add a new property in the object.